Hey everyone, Andrew Hess here. Based on a video I did about 2 years ago, we created a purchase order app. And it had such great feedback that I felt like we should recreate it. And I had so many comments from all of you. I heard that it was wonderful. They could pay for this tutorial. How do you do this? How do you do that? Let's go through it and let's do a multi-part series of this video. Go ahead and ask questions in the comments as we build this out. The goal is to create a purchase order app. So we're going to focus today on the gallery. Then we're going to connect it to a data source. Then we're going to print to PDF. That was a very requested feature, to have a button where you can print to PDF, send it by email, make it so you can download it. That's another requested feature. So all of that's going to come together based on your questions. Feel free to like and subscribe so you can ask more questions. Let's get into it and let's build out this gallery today a little more slowly. Let's get into it. Now, based on our requirements today, we're never going to go phone size. Now, there is tablet size and there is responsive. Most people think that you should always go responsive. That should always be your go-to. Today, we're focusing on learning. So I want to remove the responsive ideas out while we focus on learning. All right, that's the goal for today, is we're going to learn how to create this gallery, template, all of that. All right, so we have a blank canvas, and on screen one, no containers, no extra filler. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert a vertical gallery. So the X value, so let's go to the X value of our screen. The X value, I want it to be 20. I want it to be 20 pixels off the edge. And then the width, I want it to be the screen one dot width minus 40, right? So 20 on the left side and 20 on the right side, right? So it's 20 pixels off here. It's 20 pixels off here. The height, we can just leave that there like that. That looks good, right? So we're not fully responsive. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything in here except for the separator. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, all we have left is the separator. The separator, I'm going to change the color to a dark gray. I don't really like black, right? That's too bright or too dark, I guess. Let's do a slight gray, maybe right there, slight gray. And the height of it is going to be 2. Okay, so now we have a separator on our gallery line items. And in here, I want 4 text inputs, but not just any text inputs. I want the modern ones. So I go to settings, and then I go to update and I turn on modern controls, right? I want those modern controls. And now I insert in 4 text inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we have 4 text inputs. Okay. We have 4 text inputs. And now, let's think here. I want the background of my entire app, I want it to be like a gray color so we can kind of see those text input. Maybe that's too gray. Let's see here. Can we get a good gray? Maybe right there. How's that? That's not bad. Okay. Now, the gallery has what's called a template height, right? So this first row, right? I can't click on anywhere else. Only on the first row can I define the height of each row, right? You see that? I can't do that on the second row. I can't do that on the third row. Only on the first row can I define the height of the gallery template. So if we come up here to the top left and we go to template size, if you look at our text input, the height of the text input is 32 here. The separator is 2. So the template size, I'm going to do 34. So it fits in there just right. Maybe we want a little space. Let's do 35, maybe 36. Put a little space in there. That looks pretty good. So we can see each of our text boxes here. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to do 4 labels across the top here. Insert, text. Do I like these texts? No, I'm actually going to do classic. So insert, Let's see, label, text label. So I'm actually going to do 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now I'm gonna change the color of these, maybe to the background of them to like a dark gray. So if I come over here to the right side, the background, I want that dark gray. And then I want the text to be white. Okay, and then I want the text centered. Looks good. So I'll probably delete these ones. That way I don't have to configure it 4 times. And 4. Okay. All right, so now the next thing I want to do is I want description to be a good bit bigger. So think about this in math. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. So 3. I think the description should be 3 times the size of the other columns. So that's 1, 4, 5, 6 out of 6. So I'm going to say the width is gallery1 dot width divided by 6. Okay, divided by 6. This one is going to be the width, gallery1 dot width divided by 6 divided by 3 is actually 2, right? So 6 divided by 3 is 2, so divided by 2. This one is divided by gallery1 dot width divided by 6. And this one is the width, gallery1 dot width divided by 6. So actually, that fits in there perfectly. How do I know how to do that math? I don't know. Let me walk it through with you. So I want this. There are 6 places. So I want 1 place, 1, 2, 3, 1 place, 1 place. All right. So there's 6 in total. So let me just show you how I did that math. So there's 1 here, right? There's 1 here. I want the description to be 3 times the size of everything else. So 1, 3 times, then I want another column, and then I want another column. So in total, that is 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how I did that math. I don't know how I do a lot of this stuff in my head. And for this one, if it's 6 and divided by 3, right? So 1, 1, 2, 3, then the answer is 2. So this is technically 6 divided by 3, which is the same thing as 2. I'll leave it like that just kind of to help. All right, so that's how I created that. All right, so now the width of our text inputs, are going to be equal to our labels. So we have label 1_6. Now you should probably rename these. I'm going to do that right now. So label, I've shown all kinds of tricks to be able to rename these. This is item, label item. This is label description. And this is label quantity. And this is label price. Right? So we have here, this one, I'm just going to fix it up here, is item, description, quantity, and price. All right, so now we have our text inputs. The width of text input, I want it to be equal to label item dot width minus 4. minus 4 because I'm going to go to the x value and make that equal to 2. So it kind of pulls it off. So if we zoom in right there, it kind of pulls it off the edge, It kind of, puts it in the right spot. I think another thing I want to do is maybe make the template size here 38. Make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to pull this down, the y value, to 2. So that way it kind of gives it maybe a little more space. Let's go 4. I want to be able to see that space in there. Okay, I can see that space. That looks good. So if we zoom in there, you can see there's 4 pixels here, 0 at the bottom. We could probably remove the border radius on the bottom. So if we come to border radius, maybe we'll lower the border radius to 1. There we go. Maybe 2. Let's try 2. So there's a little bit of a border radius. You can't really tell. All right, so the next one. Now I'm going to rename each of these text inputs above my head up here. I'm going to rename each of these. It's very valuable to do this. This is text item. This one here is text description. This one is text quantity. And the last one is text price. Okay, so now the x value of our text description is going to be equal to text item.width plus 2. Maybe a little bit more. Let's try plus 4. I want a little bit off there. You see how it looks like that? So the width or the x value is 4 pixels away from the end of that one. Looks good. Now the width is going to be description, label description dot width minus 4. I think 4 will do. Maybe it's 2. Minus 2. Okay. So now let's work on the next ones. Let's kind of make this one smaller so we can kind of see where this one is. Okay, so now the x of our quantity field, which is text item dot width plus text description dot width plus 6. So 4 plus 2 plus 6. This, the x value, then also includes plus the text of quantity plus 2 dot width. All right, so that's how I kind of have that in there perfectly. If we press play, you can then see our items property. Now I don't like the hover of the blue. You see that blue line there? I'm now going to remove that. Let's see, for each of these text inputs, I'm going to change the color palette to this black, you see, or gray. I'm going to change each of the color palettes to this gray. So now it's not blue anymore. There we go. So now we have like a gray. All right, so we have a beautiful gallery. That's how to build out that gallery with all those text boxes. That's what people were asking about. I'm actually going to pull this down a little bit. So let me pull this down just a little bit. Maybe about right here. And I'll do the same with our header. All right, so now we have a beautiful gallery. We can type in here just like we wanted, just like before. That's how I created that gallery. It is not perfectly responsive. It is not. So if you come to a phone, right, it's not set up to be responsive. Based on our requirements, we are not making this responsive. Let's try a tablet. A tablet's okay. But you can see that, yeah, a tablet, if we rotate it, it fits in there well that time. So when we're doing purchase orders, we're not doing by phone. But that's how I created that gallery. Now, the next part we need to focus on is the collection. Right now, our items property of this gallery is equal to 4. So watch this. If I change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, it's then going to make 4 rows, right? If I change this to 3 rows, 2 rows, 1 row, and then nothing, right? So, and then nothing. So what we need to do is we need a collection. And to do that, I'm going to create a simple button. Now this button is not always going to be right here, but this is learning collections again. Let's learn a collection. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a collection. We're going to collect 1 row in our collection every time we click the button. So collect, what should we name this? This is our collection gallery row, right? So this is 1 row. And what are we going to collect? We're going to collect let's just do our items across here. Let's do item blank, description blank, quantity blank, price blank. And let's see, we need our squiggly bracket. We're collecting 1 row every time we click this button. So right here, collect 1 row. That's what this button does. So if I click this button 1 time and I go to my collections over here, our variables, and we go to collections, you can see up here, table 1 row. 1 row, there it is, it's all blank, right? So now in our gallery, I'm going to replace this with our collection. So we should have 1 row. If I click the button, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6, 7, all the way down. Okay, so let me go back to there. So you can see, and it'll keep going. It'll keep going as long as you want to collect. Okay, so that's what the collect row button does. Maybe you want to, maybe I want to, let's see here, the show scroll bar. I'm going to turn that off. So you can just scroll. There's no scroll bar anymore. You don't see the scroll bar. Okay. That's a decision up to you. That's based on your requirements. I'm just turning off the scroll bar just because I want that to look nice and pretty. And maybe even just to add a little bit in here, this needs to be -4. There we go. Just to pull that off the edge a little bit for our perfect gallery. Now we can type in, car, a red Corvette. The price is, I don't know, $50,000. So now you can see how we have collected, and we can keep collecting right now. We have, if we go to our collection, you can see here, table rows, we have 24 rows. All right. So now we need a clear button. So now here, I'm just going to press Control C, Control V, and this will be clear. And all this is going to do is clear, clear, Cole Gallery row. So now we have a clear button. We can collect 1 row. Good. Okay, so that's our gallery right now. Now this is where I do a little trick. How to show this clearly. Now you have different ways to do this. On the screen 1, you can do on visible. We collect, right? We want 1 row. We could do this on the on visible of the screen. Let's say there's multiple screens, and every time we visit this screen, we want there to be 1 row already collected. Is that the right way to do it? You could also do it on app, on the on start. You could collect here. I think we want it on the on visible because we may have multiple screens. So on the on visible of this screen, we're going to collect 1 row. But this item right here, item, is going to be a value that we would never accidentally type in. And I would call this, let's call it ZZZ add or show button. And this button is going to be down here. So we're going to add a button right here over top this text item. Or actually, we'll just copy this one. Copy, paste in our button. All right, so we have our button here. It's now on this row. If we collect a row, you can see the button comes all the way down. We can click on the button to add more. We have our button. Now, the visibility of this visible is only going to be true if this item dot item, right? Because that's where we are. If this item is equal to zzz, what did we do? Did I call it show button? I already forgot what I called it. It is true, else it's false. So that's good. So let's create a second screen just to get that on visible property. So let's create a second screen. And in our screen 2, we're going to have a button. And all it's going to do is it's going to navigate us to screen 1. This is just for testing purpose. We have our collection, right? So collect rows. You can see there's no button. But if we clear and we go to our screen 2 and we navigate to screen 1, we can see our button. Now the visibility of all 4 of these, let me move me for a second. All 4 of these texts, 1, hold down shift, 2, 3, 4. The visibility of these is going to be the opposite of what we saw before. So if this item equals zzz, show button, then false, else true. So now, if it equals the zzz button, it's false true. The same thing with the separator. I forgot to add the separator, visible. Also, we do the separator. So now we have a floating button. So now when we collect a row, we can see it's adding more rows. But now we don't want the button at the top. We want it at the bottom. So I'm going to come to our gallery and I'm going to sort. That's why we did Z's. Sort by columns. Our collection, gallery row, the column is the item, and we want it to be descending, right? No, ascending. There we go. So now when we clear, we collect here. Okay, that's fine. But if we go to our screen 1, our screen 2, and we navigate over, we can see our buttons here. And this button is going to be add item. So now when we click the button, you can see it adds a new row all the way down. Now the clear button, we don't want it to clear all the way. We also want it to add a show Z button. So after we clear, we can actually clear. So here we are, paste that in, we're going to collect a row, but we're going to clear collect this time. So now we're clearing and we're adding one row of ZZZ show button. So the clear button adds that in there. So we have our items. Okay, we clear. It also keeps the button there. We're going to change the button color to the gray. If you like the gray, maybe you want it to be, maybe I don't like the gray. Maybe I want it to be the purple. How about the purple? All right, so now we have our button. Comes all the way down there. This is a row. And then we have our other rows. Perfect. So now I'm going to delete this. Our clear button can be up here. Change the color of it to purple. We have our clear button. And that's how I build out that gallery. All right, so we built out that gallery. So that's where I'm going to leave you at today, is just we built this gallery, okay? We built this gallery. Next time, this is my vision for the future. We make this form, so another video, we make the form, we write to a data source. Most likely, I'm going to do SharePoint because that's what I like. I like SharePoint, right? I'm going to do SharePoint. Probably will not be a relational database. We'll probably use a GUI ID to identify. And then after that, I think we'll work on printing out this invoice and making a download button. and then maybe sending it also. So maybe we print out the invoice in a beautiful Excel in a beautiful PDF. We have a download button and click. So that's number 3. So for October, this is what we're going to do. We have this video today. The next week, we are going to write to a data source. And the next week, we are going to print to PDF with the download button. You click on it and you can download your invoice. Thank you all for watching. My name is Andrew Hess. I'll see you next week.